Boxing last night, man. And going into last night, we all were looking forward to the David Benavidez fight with Angulo. We saw the everything that happened prior, him missing weight. But there were some of us hardcore fans that were actually looking forward to the undercard, which pitted Rolly Romero, who's fighting out of the Mayweather camp, against Jackson Marinez. Okay. I was very interested in this fight. Two undefeated fighters. Marinez now working with Robert Garcia. And listen, man, where do I start? Where do I start? Rolly Romero clearly lost that fight last night. I don't think there's anybody on this planet that is going to debate me on that fight. This is one of the worst robberies I have seen in recent years, guys. Okay, we've seen robberies in the past. Don't get me wrong. But this was just blatant. This was so blatant. And to the point where even the Showtime people that, again, like, we understand how this goes. You know, there's favorites here. There's fighters are pushing. But even the Showtime announcers were kind of caught off guard because they saw what we saw. Rolly Romero got thoroughly outboxed last night. Okay. And what made it worse for me, I understand the fight, a win is a win, right? What I saw last night was Jackson Marinez putting on a clinic. Did Rolly Romero land punches? Yeah. But anybody that has followed the sport long enough knows that there are criterias as judges, okay? Watching these fights, there's a criteria when you look at how you're judging rounds. And I can't find any more than 3 rounds in this fight that Rolly Romero controlled the pace, was either outlanding Marinez, hurting Marinez, or just overall being effective. That did not happen last night, okay? And even to the point when they were reading the scorecards, I'm looking at it like, yeah, this sounds like a Marinez scorecard, how it should be. I like this, and for people, and for the people that talk about, boxing is not dead, and we're not one of these people. We're not one of these people. Like I said in the previous video, man, we're not weekend warriors over here at GYGB. But it gets incredibly difficult to try to explain this to the weekend warrior fans that you want to watch boxing, and when they see stuff like this, you can't be surprised when you hear the narrative that boxing is a corrupted sport. Because I don't care what anybody says, last night was a heist. There was a heist at the Mohegan Sun last night. Rolly knows it. Floyd knows it. They all know it. Okay? They all know it. Because if you flip the performance with both guys, you're telling me Rolly lost? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And listen, I'm not trying to throw stones at Rolly. You know what I'm saying? Even though his attitude is kind of like he's acting like he won the fight. Nah, come on, bro. Jackson Marinez should get an immediate rematch. I don't think, and based on the backlash I'm seeing from a lot of fans and a lot of the boxing writers, and chances are it's going to happen. I think the WBA is going to be forced to do it, and it's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. Number one, man, I think Rolly, for whatever it's worth, man, I don't know if he was ready for this level. Yeah, these guys were undefeated, but one of the sticking points going into this fight that kind of had me scratching my head was the amount of rounds that Marinez fought past the 7th. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had experience going into the 12th round, and guess what? It showed. This is still a lingering problem in boxing, man. And again, I'm not somebody I'm not somebody that tries to put the UFC over boxing. I love both. Myself and ROD, we love boxing more, but we watch MMA too. This shit doesn't happen anywhere near as much in MMA. Not even close. It's ridiculous, and then it leaves a sour taste in your mouth when you go to watch that particular fighter. Now, listen, Rolly has to fight this guy again immediately, and he'll have an opportunity to erase what happened last night because he lost. There's you cannot debate me on that. You cannot. I've been watching boxing for close to 32, 33 years, man. Not to give my age away, but it is what it is. I know what I see. You know what I'm saying? Don't misconstrue like what you like to see and what you know, and knowing what you see, okay? I know what I saw last night. And last night was a goddamn heist. And that's what it is. So whatever's gonna happen next, if Rolly doesn't fight Marinez next, he's gonna get a lot of shit, because it's not like split down the middle, you know. Like even when we talk about Floyd, right? You know, being that he's under Floyd, when Floyd won that fight against Castillo, right? I till this day still think Castillo edged that fight. But guess what Floyd did? He fought him in the next fight and clearly won the second fight. It wasn't like a super wide margin, but when the fight was over, Floyd won. Rolly's got to do that. He's got to do that. If you want some retribution and you want to claim your and not to go off on a tangent, but let's keep it a bean here. Lomachenko's the WBA champion. You can't be calling interim champions world champions, man. I'm sorry. We got to cut this out, okay? We got to cut this out. The franchise, interim, fool, whatever. We know who the champions are, man. We know who they are. And it ain't Rolly. It ain't Rolly. So, for those of you who didn't see the fight, I suggest whether you... I mean, I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or whatever. I mean, however, which way you can see it, if you have it on Showtime, on demand, whatever, you decide and you come back and tell me who won that fight. And chances are you're not going to say Rolly Romero. And I'm not trying to throw stones at him, but again, this is getting ridiculous, man. That was a blatant robbery last night. Which and it's nuts because, you know, it totally took away all the controversy that happened with David Benavidez, who, mind you, looked great last night, man. Like, you know, he didn't look like a guy that was sitting on his ass. I mean, listen, his body couldn't make the weight anymore. I mean, it does happen, you know, not to give him any out or anything, but he showed up. Rolly didn't show up for his fight, okay? And that's really the talk of the town right now. But I'm like, I'm talking, but I'm still like at a loss for words of what happened last night. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. So if you guys didn't get a chance to see it, Showtime on demand, if it's on there, you know, however you know, in the modern day, however you can, you know, watch the recap of this fight. But wow, man, it's really sometimes really hard to be a boxing fan. It really, really, really is, man. So I hope the rematch is immediate. It really should be. I think the consensus based on like what people are saying, I think it's going to lead to an immediate rematch. And if Rolly can spark him out or has a much better performance, then cool. But you didn't earn that win last night, bro. I'm sorry. So let me know what you think. A lot of us still talking about it this morning, man, or this afternoon. Some of you starting to see this fight for the first time, but Heist took place at the Mohegan Sun last night, man. So hopefully we'll be back this week with a new episode of the GYGB War Report. Follow us on Spotify. Just search GYGB War Report, as well as Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. So that's pretty much my gist, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll be back this week. Peace.